clear that we are aiming the victory.
We are heading to the New York Auto Show to answer the question, is the golden era of motorsports finally back? Well, I would freaking hope so, bud, because Genesis has something properly special to show us that they've never done before, which means we're going to New York City. So let's go. New York Airport is insane. Very busy. I think they want me to enjoy this as much as I can. Don't worry, you can't buy my love. Pretty sure that's the biggest screen I've seen in a car before.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the new Escalade.
You watch football on that thing or what?
Here.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I can because they have Hulu and YouTube.
You guys want to see a free show? You know what I'm saying? Oh my God.
Very painful. Open it when I'm driving.
Oh.
You have to stop to open it. Yeah.
Got it. I was halfway joking, but that's
No, it is.
That's insane. We're heading to the Equinox to drop off our bags before the big reveal. Bad news, we're in a helicopter. You're supposed to feel bad, or I'm supposed to be excited, but...
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Equinox Hotel.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, how are you today?
I'm good, man.
Come on down.
Thank you.
Welcome. Enjoy the stay.
Yeah. So a press conference is pretty simple. They pay you to come out and check things out, and they hope that you really like what they show you. The number one thing I'm so excited to actually see is there's been hints about manufacturers coming back to the hypercar era of racing. We're talking Ford, McLaren, and Genesis, and I think this announcement tonight is actually gonna show us what the Genesis hypercar actually looks like. And I'm really excited because I wanna bring you with me, and I wanna show why I think the New York Auto Show is gonna be one of the best places to show that we are getting back into the golden era of racing, because Genesis has to sell a lot of SUVs to afford putting me up in something like this. What was the golden era of racing? Think DTM, Group B, V12, Formula One. All those would sit on the proverbial totem pole of the golden era of racing. Years where manufacturers weren't afraid to bleed a few dollars to prove they were still the best in the world. Think about it. BMW's success in DTM brought us the M3. The World Rally Stages brought us Quattro and the Subaru Impreza WRX STI, and the Italian grudge matches brought us some of the most gorgeous race cars ever. All thanks to Motorsport and the hurt egos of people never wanting to lose again. But it started to die in the 2000s. The global recession in 2008 had companies like Honda, BMW, and Toyota all withdrawing from racing, which equated to $1.1 billion for them saved but lost for the motorsport. And that was just in Formula One. NASCAR had 29% lower ratings from 2005 to 2009, and attendance during those years dropped almost 17%. It was all looking a bit bleak. But when a company starts selling a lot of SUVs and figures out that value is more important than being too cheap or too expensive, you usually find yourself with a few extra bucks in your bank account. And that's where we find Genesis, a company only 10 years old to us folks in the US of A, which makes this whole thing feel a bit weird. And listen, the KTM brand has heard some of my own share of criticisms in the past, but for the next 36 hours, we are Nim, Korean for honored guest. And that means we're going to give Genesis a fresh slate to see if the brand is worth a new opinion. We're heading to a place called the Genesis House, a 4-year-old, 47,000 square foot home to the Genesis brand in Manhattan's meatpacking district. Now, this has been manufacturers' answer to promote the newest and greatest things they have to offer, which for me just initially looked like a bunch of doors. I'm kidding, but it's like they say, you know, if one door closes, another 20 in various colors opens.
Time for content creation and interviews, but first, we have one more thing to show you.
But the real reason we're here is for this moment.
We have a famous saying at Genesis, Hamyon Duenda, if you do it, it will happen. And it is with that pioneering spirit that we are launching the next chapter of the Genesis brand, Motorsports.
This is the GMR 001, the first branded hypercar from GMR, or Genesis Magma Racing, the branded development that Genesis has been working on for the past few years. And it's labeled as an LMDH, which is the World Endurance Championships category of hypercar. But you don't want to just listen to me talk about it. You want to listen to somebody older and wiser and has way more history than I do. Maybe somebody like Jacky Ickx, the man who walked across the start line at Le Mans to make a point that being unsafe was stupid and still ended up winning it. Take a listen.
Successful endurance drivers. Actually, he's not even a race driver. He's a very embodiment of motorsports. I would like to call Jacky Ickx, please, to join us on stage.
I'm convinced you understood that we are on the winning mode. And with this incredible, let's call it rocket, it's clear that we are aiming the victory. So, gentlemen, start your engines.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
The car looked insane, and I know we're car show folks, but hopefully a few more of you that watch this channel are getting into motorsports just like I am. But this is what I thought I drew as a kid on my red math folder. The GMR 001 has a 3.2-liter twin-turbo V8 powering the Orica-supported chassis. But what's really interesting is just how they plan to make that engine work. You see, Hyundai's been racing WRC for a few years now. Actually, a few decades, but they've been developing their own engines in-house since 2017, an inline 4 turbo. The 3.2-liter that'll be in this, not just for the Le Mans series this year, but actually for a full sprint at the FIA WEC and IMSA. IMSA's in 2027 and WEC is in 2026. This thing is aiming to be 2 of those inline 4-cylinder engines smacked together with over 60% of their components shared. And as Sanim, to see this hiding in the basement with inspirations like Cyril and Jacky, Dustin Williams, and of course Crispy hiding around, it made me think that I need to prove to the internet that it's not just Genesis coming back to motorsport, it's everyone. And I think it's a good thing. So after a brief nap, I'm dragging you to the New York Auto Show to prove a point. At least I hope so. The 125-year-old auto show is the oldest and most influential places to be a manufacturer. And if you're going to announce something, most manufacturers do it here. Henry Ford debuted the Model T at this show in 1909. General Motors birthed Pontiac here, and Genesis released the Grand Equator concept. But out of the 34 manufacturers I found at this show, 47% of them are in a racing series of some kind. Acura is in IMSA. Alfa Romeo was and still is technically in Formula One. Aston Martin is in all of it, F1, WEC, and IMSA. Audi is in Formula One in 2026, and BMW is across the board. Cadillac, you already know and hear it all the time. Ferrari is across the board, F1, IMSA, and WEC. Ford is in WRC. Honda is in all of the racing series, and so is Toyota. And in 2015, that was only 35%, or only 12 manufacturers that were involved in motorsport, which is a good sign for us. And it's a good thing to feel. There's so much to be excited about when it comes to racing, not just in the grassroots things that are happening in your backyard, but at the manufacturer level that bring big dollars to the things that we love. And sure, we all love modified cars. The entire basement of the New York Auto Show was filled with some of my biggest, dreamiest cars that I wish I could have taken home, but they wouldn't fit on the helicopter. But it's so cool to see companies continuing to get involved, not just in the aftermarket world of cars, which quite frankly is what I enjoy doing the most, but also manufacturers getting invested in motorsport. It's a sign that good things are happening, and I think it's also a great sign that if there's a time to get involved in motorsport, regardless on if you love WEC or IMSA, WRC, Formula One, or drifting, it's a great time to be a motorsport enthusiast. And to spend 36 hours as a Sun Neem with Genesis was an incredible experience. But you'll have to let me know if you enjoyed this trip and coming along with me, and of course, if you thought I was a little bit cuckoo for jumping into a helicopter. But with that said, I'm Alex, AlexMartini with 2 underscores on Instagram, and if you can, please don't forget to subscribe. It's a free thing that you can do if you enjoy these videos, and of course, it helps me continue to grow and share incredible stories about cars and the automotive industry across the globe. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.